Hey everybody, I am going to do a short Eureka lesson with you. For this week on Thursday, your lesson is Module 5, Lesson 9, and it says on the calendar to do the video on Zearn and then do the problem set. But for the problem set, you'll need to have a project number, and it's supposed to be something we did in class together. And you can't really do that. So I'm gonna go over the exit ticket with you, which you don't have, but I'm gonna show you mine. And then instead of doing the problem set for practice for Thursday, you can go ahead and do the homework. Just do number 1, which is kind of fun because we're back to volume. And number 1 on the homework just says to find 3 different rectangular prisms around your house and measure them. And then you put the height, length, and width in inches. You just round it to the nearest whole inch. And then you find the volume and add them up to find the compound volume. So that will be a little bit more fun because you get to get up and move around and measure things in your house. So I'm gonna go over this problem on the exit ticket with you. And if you have pencil and paper, you can write this down with me, okay? Here is the problem from the exit ticket, and you don't have to draw out these 2 prisms together. You can just follow along with me and write down the measurements and then work out the volume along with me, okay? So this says that a student designed this sculpture using the dimensions on the sculpture. Find the dimension of each rectangular prism, then calculate the volume of each prism. So this one is Y and this one is Z. And when I look at this and problem solve how I want to approach this, I know that I have all this information here. So it's actually going to be easier for me to start here and then use the information that I have to find what I don't know for Y. Here is 18 inches, 18 inches for the height. The length, here it shows 6, and then the rest of the length is behind Y. But if you remember, we know that opposite sides are equal. So if this measurement is 10, then this across here would be 10 as well. So we're gonna put a length of 10 inches. And then the width shows us that it is 10 inches as well, okay? So now we can look at Y, and the measurements from Z will help us figure out what Y is. So the height for Y, we know that this height is 18, right? Because it's the same as this. And Y ends here, but from here to here is 6. So think about how you would take those 2 numbers and find the height of Y. And if you said you should subtract 6 from 18, then you would be correct. So the height of Y is 12 inches because 18 minus 6 is 12. The length, so if the length of Z is 10 and this portion is 6, then the portion across the front must be what's left if we do 10 minus 6. So our length is 4. The width, going this way, we know that 10 inches is the width of Z, and this tells us that from here to here is 16, so what's left must be 6. So we'll put 6 here, okay? Now we've got all of our measurements, and all we have to do is multiply. So our equation is 12 times 4 times 6. I'm gonna start with 12 and 6 because that's a math fact, and I know that that is 72. And then I can just multiply that by 4, which is easier because it's a single digit number. So the volume of my rectangular prism Y is 288 cubic inches, or we can label it like this, inches cubed, right? Then we can calculate B. Our equation for B is 18 times 10 times 10, and we know 10 times 10 is just 100, and 18 times 100 is 1800 inches cubed. Then C asks us to find the total volume. Remember that total means we want to add them up. So we have 1800 and 288. So we get 2088 inches cubed. That's it for my volume lesson, and you can now grab that homework set and your ruler and go find some fun things around your house to measure and find the compound volume. And I will see you guys at the next lesson.